Norton. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This motion before the House notes that the Australian Building and Construction Commission has specified in a fact sheet published by the Federal Government that displaying the Eureka stockade flag on clothing, property or equipment would breach the 2016 Code for the Tendering and Performance of Building Work. Deputy Speaker, this is an attack on Australian workers. This is an attack on the right of freedom of association. This is an attack on our very democracy itself. The importance of the Eureka flag does not emanate from the fabric it is made of, or even the design. The stars of the Southern Cross joined in defiance by a solid white cross. The importance of the Eureka flag emanates from the struggle of those who first flew the flag in Ballarat back in 1854. The miners who died under the flag during that battle, and all who have flown the flag in protest against unequal laws and unequal rights in the many years since. Born out of adversity, it is a flag that belongs to all Australians. The Eureka flag was first hoisted on Bakery Hill on the 29th of November 1854. The Eureka Rebellion was the culmination of a revolt by gold miners in Ballarat against British colonial authority. The miners objected to what they thought was unfair taxation through the imposition of inflated licence fees. 22 rebels died in that battle and 6 police and troopers. The miners actually lost the battle, but eventually won the war. 164 years later, the flag remains a symbol of nationalism and democratic struggles. In our representative system of government, power is vested in the people. The word democracy literally means the rule of the people. So what sort of country is this if Australians are banned from displaying a symbol that represents democracy itself? Now, the Australian labour movement has a proud history. Beginning back in the early 19th century, workers who were less skilled and working in rural areas began to organise and demand better conditions. Not long after the Eureka Rebellion, a series of great strikes rolled across the country. The 1890 Maritime Strike, the 1891 and 1894 Shearers' Strikes, and the 1892 Miners' Strikes. All of these strikes were broken by the use of police or military force. And in fact, it was the heavy-handedness of authorities that facilitated the formation of the Labor Party and the search for a political solution. Now, Deputy Speaker, this is not the first time that union symbols have been banned by employers. In 1912, the Brisbane members of the Australian Tramway Employees Association defiantly attached their union badges to their watch chains, sort of like the stickers that many of the people are wearing today, I guess. In a bid to discourage a swell in union membership, the Brisbane Tramway Company banned its employees from displaying union badges. It didn't go so well for them. Tram drivers who persisted in wearing their badges were stood down. In response, a strike committee was set up and 43 unions across Queensland called a general strike. Shops and hotels closed down, bread deliveries halted, newspaper printing was restricted, and train services were suspended at night. The Commissioner of Police refused to allow the unionists to march in Brisbane streets, something Joe repeated later. Police and special constables from outside Brisbane were used force to quell the unrest. The Premier even requested that the Army intervene. Eventually the strike dissolved, but the Australian Tramways Employees Association took their case to the Arbitration Commission and was granted the right for its union members to wear their badges to work. The Brisbane Tramways Company fought tooth and nail against this action by the union, arguing the Conciliation and Arbitration Commission did not have jurisdiction as it was not an industrial dispute. The question was sent to the High Court and the High Court held in favour of the workers. So in 1912, the Tramways employees and the union had to fight for the right to wear their union badges, and Deputy Speaker, they won. Those workers keenly felt that sense of unfairness, that sense of authority overreaching, that sense of fighting for the common good. That is what the Eureka flag stood for in 1854, and it is what it stands for today, Deputy Speaker. So just like the Tramways badge case, it is the right of the modern construction employees to be free to join a trade union. Being able to display a symbol associated with the CFMEU or the AMWU or the ETU or the AWU or whoever, whatever union, is the essence of freedom of association. The Eureka flag has proudly flown in Australia for more than 160 years. So I call on the Turnbull Government to rein in their building and construction watchdog. It is off the leash and rabid. I call on the Turnbull Government to not take away the right of Australian workers to display the Eureka flag on their work sites. I call on the Turnbull Government to preserve the right of freedom of association for all Australians. It would be un-Australian not to. Deputy Speaker, and I ask with tolerance to be able to just show the symbol that we're talking about.
Order. The member's time has expired.